Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you? My name is Sosa Scissorhands, barber, and today I'll be doing a review. Not even really a review. It may be a complaint. It depends on how you look at it. But I'm doing it on the Slimline Pro by Andis. As you see, I modified this Slimline Pro. It has a T-liner blade on it from the Andis T-liner trimmer, but it's been modified. Okay, so, and just to show you that I'm not really trying to hate on Andis or anything, because I started with Andis. All right, the Masters, the T-liner trimmers, the gray ones with the cord, which I must say they had more power too at that time, man. I don't know if it's just me, it could be just me, but there was more power in those Masters and those trimmers that had the cord. Of course you're gonna lose that because it's battery operated, I get it. But when it's fresh, it shouldn't be weak. Anyway, and just to show you that I'm not a hater of Andis, I went out and bought a lot of their products. I got the Slimline Pro, I have the T-liners, cordless, which are kind of suspect too. Now this is a good tool, the Andis shaver. Can't lie, they broke the mold with that. Nice, light, strong, handles business. It's one of my favorite pieces right there. This is the only shaver that I have. So I'm just trying to show you that I'm not hating on Andis. But I do want you to understand something about Andis. They've gotten cheaper with the way that they build their products. Okay? Because, like I said, I had the first T-liners. You take the blade up, there's a metal plate up under there that screws your screws down in, and you get a nice screw down. But with the problem I had with the Slimline Pro, and the problem that I have with the new trimmer by Andis, both of these trimmers, is that they're putting plastic up under the blades now. So, and I want you to know that there's a reason for that. That's because with the T-liners, with the cord, you didn't have to worry about stripping a screw. That's what happened here. And how did I strip it? I don't know. I'm a barber. I try to be very delicate when I take screws off, because I know, especially with plastic up under here, that this is potential for stretching out that strand which it screws into, right? But the right side started getting weak, and eventually, when I take the blade off to the size, do the sizing on the blade so it can hit harder, or clean out the hair from in there, or whatever the case may be for me to get up under this blade to do some type of modification, or whatever the case is. I don't know if this happened to you guys out there, but it happened to me, and I'm sure I'm just not a singular guy here when it comes to this problem with the plastic up under the blade now, because that's starting to take away from the options that I have, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when the side went out and it stripped, guess what I had to do? I had to order what they call a sled, which is basically the whole guts inside. The motor, the battery, rechargeable battery, all of that is linked. And I'm gonna show you that later when I change it out, because I just ordered it, okay? I went to Andis.com, and when I went to Andis.com, it took me to repair and service, because Andis obviously is not dealing with this problem. It's sending it to a third party, second party, what have you. And I went to Midwest Grooming Supply in Barrington, Illinois, and I talked with a representative there named Chuck. And Chuck ordered it for me and told me that he would go ahead and get it and send it out to me. Well, Chuck, you and I know you sent it to the wrong address. One, I had to go to the post office and fight with them and make them look around. Not to mention, this is COVID-19 is out here, this coronavirus. So I'm trying to avoid that at the same time going to the post office where stuff is coming from all over the world. So yeah, that's another problem that I dealt with, because Chuck made the mistake of sending it to the wrong place, okay? The numbers got misconstrued, and I told him twice when he took the order. I guess he was more concerned with the money than getting the order right. And then on top of that, I had to hunt down the package, and he told me I was on my own basically, and he cursed me out or whatever, and told me that he'd send me my effing money back or whatever. And, I ain't got time for that. So I found the package. I went back to the post office where they said, this is where it's at, what have you, blah, 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 blah. We got down to the bottom of it, and they found the package, and it wasn't where it was supposed to be, whatever, but they found it. Good. So now I'm gonna do the modification which is not really a modification, but just go inside this thing, take it apart, and put the piece in, the whole assembly. For basically, I'm gonna have a whole new trimmer, which cost me, I'm out of $30 because Andis they're basically using cheaper material to make, I think what they want to call better trimmers and shavers for us. Shaving, no problem. I'm not yet. Anyway, but as you can see, let me take this off because I have protectors on the blades from Tailor's, which I give a lot of props to Tailor's because they make great magnification blade guards. See, snaps right on, you're good. If it hits, falls, what have you, they protect it. You know, the blade guards from Tailor's. Okay, shout out to Tailor's again. But anyway, you got a little movement here with this blade. Let me put that close up. You can see you got a little movement there with this blade. Why is it moving? I mean, the other one didn't move on the corded one. Why is this moving? And then why is this plastic under here? That's going to eventually give from taking it off, from cleaning, sizing your blade, getting you right so you can be a hitter with this thing. And I ain't gonna lie, it's a decent trimmer, but it's falling short to the ones out there like Babyliss, Gold, FX, because we don't have these issues with that, which I'm getting ready to switch to Babyliss probably. More than likely. I do have the detail about wall because, as you can see, I'm a wall man anyway because Andis wasn't putting up the 5-star, you know, which is great. I have 2 pair of them. In case one run out, I got the other one. Yeah, I got the 5 stars. And they work great. I have no complaints with wall, either with the detail or either, okay? But here we go with the issues with Andis because they want to take the cheaper way out. I'm going to take this apart, the Slimline Pro, and we're gonna put the sled in. We're gonna take the whole thing apart, and I'll show you the modification I did on it just to show you, so you'll have an idea how to modify your Slimline Pro if you want. And let me say another thing is about Slimline Pro. I like it. It hits, and I'm gonna keep the Slimline Pro because for one, I already bought the new sled, which is basically a whole new trimmer, and these things hit, man. I mean, you get a nice sharp line off them. I gotta give it to Andis on that. But why are you putting cheaper products? Why are you using cheaper parts, pardon me, to put this thing together? Because you want me to come back and spend $30, and it's just a little plastic piece where it screws in that they could have gave us the option to buy for about $5, $10. I still would have paid it, but I gotta pay $30 for a whole new assembly, and guess what? You hear it. It's strong, it's working, it's cutting. You know, it'll give you the ash that you're looking for, whatever, when you touch. But the one side is just loose, a little loose. And that's because of the stripping plastic inside of it. Anyway, let's go to fix this thing and see what we can come up with. I'm gonna take it apart. We're gonna put the other one in, the other sled bed or whatever, and show you the modification. Give me a minute. Okay, here I am. I took the modified blade off of the Slimline Pro, and as you can see, I don't know, let me get this thing right. Right here on this side right here is where it got stripped or something of that nature. But I'm gonna take this apart completely, and this is what I got from the supply store over there at Midwest in Barrington, Illinois. And Chuck sent to the wrong address and got mad at me and wanted me to do the footwork to find it, which I did. But it just shows me that he's not really a good representative for that company, because if he was, he wouldn't be using profanity with someone who was just really trying to get down to the bottom of where his property was that he paid for. You know, I mean, how could you get mad at me for that, man? You sent it to the wrong address, Chuck. All right, let me leave that alone. We're going to take this apart, and let me say something else. There's some screws here that Andis put in this Slimline Pro, because some guys get the ones with the Phillips screws, and I don't know what kind of screw this is, but I found a way to take it off, and the only thing that I found to take it off, you're going to need this, ta-da, a fork. A fork is the only thing that I found that will go in this screw and take it out. Okay, I'm back. I took the blade off already, the modified T-liner blade. I've taken that off, and we'll get into the modification after a while. But what I want to show you more than anything is this is what it looks like under. There's the plastic that I was talking about, and yes, this is the side that stripped, okay, right here. And as you see, they got 2 Phillips screws there. There's 2 under the blade. When you take the blade off, there's 2 Phillips screws there. But when you gotta take this off, the screws from the outside of the casing, they had 2 other screws. I don't know what tool that. I mean, what tool do I use for that? Some type of star or something. It wasn't a hex bolt or anything like that. But my thing is like, why? Why not just put another 2 Phillips screws in there so I can just keep on with the same flow? You know, 2 Phillips screws at the top, 2 under the blade. We got 2 on the body. Makes sense. All right. Well, for some reason they didn't want to do that. Maybe it was cheaper for them. Maybe it was more complex. Maybe, you know, you couldn't repair it yourself if you had to because you need so much. I don't know what the ideology was behind that. And I don't really. All right. Anyway, you take this part off the top, and you got to be careful because it has a groove up in there and it pushes up. Take the top part off, and here's the bottom part, and it comes out pretty easy. This is the whole assembly that you have to buy for $30 because they didn't want to give you an option to just replace the plastic one way or the other. They could have stopped it right here or right up there to where you could just replace this little piece here for $5-10 and keep your motor and everything and be good. But obviously they had other plans for some reason. Anyway, here's the one that he sent. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. You gotta be careful when you put this thing in because you don't want to damage it. You want it to slide in, so you take your time. Make sure that your holes are lining up. Make sure your holes are lining up. You know, you can see your holes there and the pieces in, and it basically clicks right in, just like that. All right, so now we got that in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the top back on. You know, and once again, you got to be careful how you put it back on because it has to line up. So you want to be careful with that. And as you can see, I'm getting a little time with it, but I think it's gonna work out. Let me try to work this thing in here. Okay, grooves got to line up and all of that jazz. And hold up, let's try from the bottom. See, it turned on. That means it's lined up, but that groove, you still gotta. It's weird. It has to line up in there, and you don't want to break nothing in there. See, it's already lined up with the switch, but for some reason, I'm not getting in there like I'm supposed to. You don't want to mess up nothing. All right, there it is. You just got a little tension on it, but I don't know why it's doing that. But it's closed, as you can see. But no, it's, yeah. Okay. There it is. Comes on. All right, so you got to wiggle a little bit and line it up and get it in there, but there it is. Okay. I've taken the blade off of the Slimline Pro, the first blade. You got to take the guts out of it. And those guts are already placed on this GTX blade that came off of the Slimline Pro blade. Okay? You got to use the plastic that came off the Slimline Pro because the other plastic that came off of the GTX blade is this. You don't want to use that. You want to use the metal one. And also, when you're using this, I have to show you this. I should have had it off when I started the video, but what you're gonna have to do, you have to take this piece off here, and this metal, this little gadget, little brace or what have you, it comes off, it slides off quite easily if you get it out of the. There it is. There it is. It came right off. See? That's it right there, the little metal. You're going to need this part, remember. And with this part, you're going to want to take a drill. And you got to have a bit on there. And you got to have a screw gun. And you stick the drill bit inside the hole. And you pull as you drill. Pull it to yourself and pull the other way like a tension. Not too hard. You don't want to break nothing. But you want to do that in one. And you want to do that in the other one too, in two. All both holes until you get it looking something like that. Yeah, once it's looking like that, you're doing pretty good. 2 long holes that were modified to, because if you don't modify this, what happens is you're not gonna have enough room to set your blade to where you get a good hit. All right, so once you do that, you want to put this little brace back on. Once that little brace is on, I suggest that you take the blade, the GTX blade, or whatever T-liner blade that you're gonna use. I suggest the GTX or maybe one of those gold titanium ones. I mean, that's really gonna hold, and you're not gonna have to keep taking it loose again, so you won't have this problem again of stripping the screw or just widen it or whatever. And over time, it's gonna wear out. So you're gonna take this part and you're gonna screw it down. Not all the way, keep it loose because you gotta put the other screw in too. So you gotta leave yourself, a little room to put the screw in. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna put the screw back in here. Get the screw in there. If I can get it. Oh man. All right. There we go. One. Get the other screw. I don't want to take too long doing this because I want you guys to see how this is done. I don't want to take all day doing it though. All right. There's both screws in. This is what it should look like when you screw it in after you already modified this part, the plastic part. Well, it's plastic and metal, so the metal part is what you're going to be modifying. Okay, now that we have that in one piece, we're going to take the bottom blade and put it up under, I'll show you, we're going to put it up under these 2 clips, just like that, and just kind of run it flush with the top blade. But this black piece again, the piece that I showed you before with the 2 sides of it, there's going to be 2 humps here, one here and one on the other side. You're going to slice it off. I use this. Be very careful. It's a blade, but this is what you have to do. Clean both of those sides off. Once you clean them off, keep the middle. You're going to need the middle to hold the blade on the GTX, on the modified blade. So now we're going to take this black piece, and you want to put it, take your time and get it up under the clips. Once you get it up under the clips, it fits right into the bottom blade. See that? Perfect little fit. There's your modified blade. Well, that's my wrap up on this Slimline Pro. Modified Slimline Pro, new guts inside. You hear them. Actually, I think the other one sounded a little stronger. Maybe I got to charge it or what have you. Whatever the case may be, but that's the modification. Best that I can do it. It's done because it works. They biting or whatever. Not biting, but you know what I mean. They grabbing the hairs and they're not leaving me with cuts on my arm or anything. I can go up in here, all up in there where it's tender, doesn't hurt. Put it on the face, you hear it crunching on my face, just hitting little hairs. So, and there for the most part, I did my beard, but I couldn't hold it in the mirror at the same time. But yeah, it's hitting. It's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's nice. It's tight now. Again, the other side is not loose, stripped or anything, and I'm gonna try to keep it that way for the most part. If it strips again, I don't know. I might just trash it or give it to somebody and let them go buy another one or what have you. But like I said, I'm going to switch my other T-liner, the Andis cordless T-liner. I'm going to switch it because I got some play in the blade and it has that plastic up under there too. And I just don't want to deal with that again. And if I do, I'll let it be with the Slimline Pro from, with the GTX blade. It's hitting. I like it. But that's Andis' dirty little secret. Cheaper parts to keep you coming back to buy new guts, new parts. And it keeps them in business. I don't have no problem with keeping them in business. I spend for what is good. And when I spend, I like to, get the usage out of it and don't have to keep going back for parts. because, you know, somebody's greedy on the other end. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Andis chose to take metal from up under their blades and put plastic. Why? You have to ask them. And don't tell me because it cuts better with plastic, because for decades, you know, the cord Andis T-liner has been basically cutting A. And why change it because you made a different trimmer? It's supposed to be the same trimmer but cordless. Try to keep it basically keep it the same, just without the cord. Strong, no flexibility in the blade for the Andis T-liner. I know this was about the Slimline Pro, and the Slimline Pro is good. The price is decent and all of that, but for the Andis T-liner, it was just too high for it to have those new faults with it. And I think anybody who's basically going out and spending their money, their hard-earned money, for, you know, some clippers, some trimmers, it shouldn't have to go through that. You know, and even if you're gonna use the plastic, fine. Just make it to where we can just replace the part that strips, the plastic part. We don't have to go ahead and replace the whole guts. Who want to do all of that just for one of these getting a little room in it and not tightening down all the way and just spinning or whatever? Why I gotta replace all of that? Come on, get out of here. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's all I really got to say about the Slimline Pro. Like I said, good hitter, but you know, the dirty little secrets is the parts inside and all that is pretty much fugazi, cheap. And Andis is taking that route now. I don't know why, but like I said, I started with Andis. That doesn't mean I have to end with Andis, but for the most part, please subscribe, like, and good luck. Thank you for your time.